it either.
The other big issue this week, and kind of slightly related, isn't it, which is Privacy Week. $22 million was set aside for cybercrime as well this week. But interestingly, nearly half of us are concerned about privacy. This is according to a particular online poll. So I just want to go around the panel first and ask, is privacy important to you?
Yeah, it's part of a functioning democratic society, absolutely.
Have you been hacked?
Not yet,
Because I have went to the US, to New York just briefly for a holiday. Visa card phones me and says, "Hey, did you buy some shoes in Santa Monica?" And I said, "No." And so, Tim, my phone was hacked. Is this an issue?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, it's an issue. Now, everybody's concerned about it. We all want to keep our private details private. Have I been hacked? Well, I think probably most MPs have had the experience of somebody on Facebook on the other side of the globe stealing our photos, setting up a fake account.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Has it happened to you
common.
guys? Certainly it's happened to me a couple of times. In fact, most recently, just in the last week. And, on one hand, it could be relatively harmless, but you don't know what it's being used for. Almost impossible to stop, of course.
What do you think about this? Is privacy a right fill, or do we need to use some common sense around this?
Oh, yeah. We passed the Privacy Act 23 years ago, and the change in technology between then and now has just been enormous. But I want to talk about the other side of privacy, and that's the concept of cyber warfare and hacking. I went to the UN last year to the Non-Proliferation Treaty Conference, and I listened to a 4-star American general stand up and say that the thing that frightened him most was that he thought hackers could now intrude into the launch codes of the American Defence Force and launch missiles remotely. He said that is the biggest threat to the world. General James Cartwright. And I was at a small newspaper in Auckland the other day, and they said, we've just had somebody hack our files. They said they were going to delete all our files unless they received $1,000 emailed to them by the end of the day. And they paid the $1,000 because they could see the files starting to disappear.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, that gives you an idea of the scale of the problem that we've got
What about
with modern technology.
What about you, Dave? What do you think about this issue? Privacy Week, cybercrime has been allocated $22 million. Is it an issue for the good people of Epsom?
Well, it's an issue for people across Auckland and across New Zealand. And I think, first of all, I think everyone deserves privacy. I think even wealthy people that have trusts in other countries deserve privacy, a much maligned group. But, let's go to this.
But what about Facebook and what about social media where people are too willing to...
Let me give you this thought. We could dramatically improve the performance of our roading networks if we charge people for the distance they drive and the time they drive it. But that means you've got to track every single car so you know when they do it. Now, we pretty much accept that with our cell phones. We accept that, you make a call, the time's recorded, and you get charged for it. Should we be doing the same thing with vehicles? That's a difficult privacy issue. So a lot of public policy in New Zealand is going to revolve around where is the boundary between individual privacy and the ability of the state to do things more efficiently. And that's a tough tension.
I know the next big thing, too, on the same survey, 80% of people said that in a survey they were sensitive about privacy on their mobile device. And apparently this is the next big forefront. Hayley, you're back with Nikki.
I am back with Nikki. I can't get enough. Are we being paranoid? These are obviously businesses and corporates. What about the everyday person? Do we have to worry about our privacy?
I think it's a really important question, because if people live in fear, which they don't need to live in, it squeezes down their lives. So is somebody staring at you out of your mobile phone? No. Is somebody looking at all of our computers most of the time? No, no, no. And there are things that we have to worry about, but actually they're the ones we know about. People have to be careful when they're on Facebook, what they stick on Facebook. They have to be aware that they're leaving tracks behind them for the rest of their lives when they put things online. But we shouldn't think that someone's spying on us all the time, because otherwise we will be small people who are scared to be in the world.
Exactly. So our smartphones are safe enough then?
It depends what you're doing. If you are meeting your most secret source as a journalist, you shouldn't ever take your smartphone with you.
Do you have one?
No, there's self-surveillance devices, but if you're living your normal life, and it's not a problem, and as I say, we shouldn't live in fear. In fact, I heard this wonderful speaker today as part of Privacy Week, and what he was saying, he's an overseas speaker, he said, there are things which are essential for the development of a human being's personality, and their freedom of expression and privacy that allow us to grow as a person. They're really important.
So if you're not an investigative journalist, then you shouldn't worry about it, hopefully.
Or a jewel thief or something. Yeah, there's various professions where you should be careful, but otherwise, relax. It's okay.
Hey, Hayley,
Excellent.
I've got one question I've always wanted to know. I don't know if it's a rumour or a myth or what. I've got one question for Nikki Hart. Can I ask it?
Please.
Nikki, do you have a cell phone?
I just asked that, Wallace.
Oh, yeah, I
Listen,
didn't.
listen.
Oh.
You might want to edit
You
that.
should be listening. We're over here.
Where's my tinfoil hat? Oh my God! Where's my hat? Hey, just hands up. Hey, thank you very much, Nikki. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, just hands up in the audience. Who else doesn't have a cell phone? Can you go to that person over there, Hayley? That one person.
I'm coming
Why?
over. I'm coming over.
One person in the whole
You might have
audience.
just
Oh,
lost
right.
it, eh?
So, you look like a pretty stand-up citizen. Why wouldn't you have a cell phone?
I just can't be bothered.
Kind of fair enough. I kind of get that.
last
Do
week
you have a
and the last-
Nokia at least?
I've got nothing.
Okay, good.
You just got a home phone.
Home phone, yeah, landline.
All right, he's on the landline. Back to you guys.
Actually, I think that Nikki wanted to sort of. Nikki wanted to say, Hayley, come back here. Nikki wanted to say something very, very briefly about some of the things that's been said about him this week.
I just want to say something about cell phones, actually,
Oh,
which
right.
is, why don't I have a cell phone? It is not because I think that I'm being watched. I really don't, and I would hate to spread paranoia. The reason I don't have a cell phone is that I'm a writer, and we need to have time to think. And I think that's a very important issue for everyone who spends their lives checking emails and texts. That's all.
I agree. I spend a lot of time on my phone. Thank you.
I actually think that's a very, very nice sort of a bit more mindfulness away from the sort of the tech and the social media. Hey, look, we've run out of time. We're back with quite a controversial topic next, and that's healthy homes.